We'll have to get our IT department on the case because it's so difficult every week just to log on to our multiple platforms. And that's what we do. We log on to multiple
But it's all right.
platforms.
We're here now. Everything is fine. I'm twitching, but everything is fine. Hi.
Hi,
everybody.
everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
A belated, but no less sincere,
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
I can't.
Happy New Year, one and all.
I really can't believe it's the new year, honestly.
Well,
it just doesn't seem.
The numbers
it doesn't
2020
seem real.
Numbers 2024 don't come
No.
readily.
Well, I don't know if you guys have this, but you know, once you're out of school, you don't really write the date all that often.
No.
And so it's weird, but it's almost like it takes a bit more time for something to become normal and natural because you're not using it with any regularity. I guess some people in their work do, but yeah, you know, for us, I don't. Doctor's visits is what I usually, even then, they do most of it for. It's just, yeah, it's a shift, isn't it?
It is.
Takes
this
bit
past
of time.
week, of course, when there's a Monday holiday, as there was this week,
yes,
it throws everybody off.
Everybody.
And this is the first week of the new year, so it means I didn't yet start my new semester of teaching at USC.
But you will.
I will, but I will this coming Thursday. Yeah. Well, I didn't have that Thursday marker in my head, so I really lost track of what day it was.
Yeah.
Almost day this week.
But you have a bit of a wild week this week. A very not normal, very LA week. As the new year is upon us, it is awards season. Yes, that fun time when everything just goes crazy and suddenly people have to appear at 87,000 events. And it's just kind of nutty, and it's nutty to live in it. The whole situation is a bit crazy. And we'll sort of go into that. Oh, Kevin says that he loved Godzilla -1. Thanks for the recommendation. I'm so glad.
I'm very happy that you got to see it.
Yeah. Golden Globes are tonight, which, okay, they're back. They're back. They went away. One of the things that I think my dad and I struggle with, and excuse me, Daisy has gotten us all sick. One of the things that is tough for us is now we don't often curse here, but I'm going to just quickly. We don't do well with bullshit. It's not a part of us.
Now, let's call it baloney from now on.
Sure.
Let's just say.
We'll say baloney. Baloney is the nicer way to say it. You're right. This is it. It's a bit difficult because so many of these awards are made up now.
Of baloney.
Of baloney. They come from God knows where. Depending on the award itself, in many cases now they are purchased. It's just a lot. And so it can be a bit difficult to then deal with people talking about something like it has weight. Now, look, the reality is that everybody likes an award, right?
Who would turn down an award?
Everybody likes an award. Everybody likes being honored in some way.
George C. Scott, Marlon Brando, those exceptions aside.
Other than them. But that's the reality, right? Is that it is nice to be honored.
Yeah.
And certainly because a number of these made up awards are now, a lot of people show up and you get the fancy names. So to be in a room of your peers and are people you respect, to get to stand up in front of them and speak, it is special. The Palm Springs Film Festival is happening / just happened, and over the weekend, Cillian Murphy.
The festival is going on.
Yes, that's up. But
yeah.
So, Cillian Murphy received a special award, and he gave a really lovely speech. He said, he thanked his family. He said 2/3 of his family was there. One of them was in the middle of studying for tests back at home in Ireland. So it's lovely It's lovely. And, but it's a made up award. And we have actually joked for many years that we should make up awards, that like we should have like the Maltinis or something like that. 'Cause
When I
people
was
will show up.
when I was having trouble booking
Yeah.
films and guests,
Yeah.
my class every week on Thursday nights at USC consists of screening a film, usually just before it opens,
Yeah.
and having somebody there from the film, director, producer, writer, costume designer, actor, composer, somebody from the film. And everyone knows that that by and large, movies that are released January and February are the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
That's not when you look for the great movies to come out. So it's tough. It's tough to get worthwhile films to show, and good guests.
Yeah.
And I flirted with the idea of inventing an award.
I mean, the USC Film School is known around the world.
Oh yes,
It is
very
genuinely a world famous film school.
right, renowned.
Your class that you inherited that has been going, is it like 80 years?
No,
It's
60 years.
It's a hell of a long time. It's been going on. It's all of this. So, it would not be the craziest thing.
Yeah.
It would not be the most outlandish thing to have. But we just feel fun of making things up. In saying that, I won't put it past us. It could happen. Amber says, I desperately want you to host the Maltinis. I'm telling you, man, it could be a lot of fun. It could be a lot of fun. And, so as I say, it's difficult. Now, the reason we're not saying all awards is because it's not all awards.
No, of course not.
And as I say, in many cases, it is done with love.
I mean, the Critics Awards, the various
Sorry,
Critics
guys.
Awards, are honest votes
Yeah.
by working journalists.
The LA Film Critics, which you've been a member of for a very long time, you do all get together and you vote, and it's
and we do it in person. I mean,
yeah.
so it's we can see how the vote goes
It's a
down.
real discussion, and it means something. And a lot of times when people come in and they receive their awards, because that's the other part, is that it's announced who wins. So everybody in the room is a winner.
Yeah.
And that also adds to it. There's no pressure to the evening. It's not televised.
Right.
LAFCA is not televised.
So it's there's kind of an intimacy, and people feel relaxed. And as some filmmakers and actors have said over the years, it's an evening of truce.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we are critics and we do criticize.
But but that's part of it, is that, and again, a lot of the people who are members of LAFCA have been film critics for a long time.
Yep.
And so the people winning, they understand that this is coming from people who judge you for a living, and it, as I say, it can mean a lot. You will be there this Saturday evening with my mom.
Yep.
Sitting with Divine Joy Randolph. Is that the?
I hope,
since that's your.
I'm gonna be presenting.
He's presenting Divine Joy Randolph's award to her from LAFCA on Saturday night
for her great performance in The Holdovers.
Yep. And it will be fun, and you'll see the other on the awards. So it's a very nice evening. As I say, there's no competition to it. It is very relaxed.
And I must say, my fellow critics, we all get up and make a speech. First, we have to.
You don't all get up and make a speech.
No.
That would take a very long
No.
time. Everybody who is presenting an award makes a speech about who is receiving the award. So it's not just, you don't just go up and say, and our supporting actress winner is Divine Joy Randolph. Instead, you get up and you say, watching her in this film, watching her in general the last couple of years as she's come up, she's incredible. She's
a great talent,
the real thing, and very talented. So you get up and say something lovely to her. And it's fun, it's fun.
The proof is in the pudding. Usually when the awards are over, people don't flee.
Yeah, they stay, they'll chat.
They stay, they'll schmooze.
Which is wonderful. So that's the thing. There are awards. I know Nick earlier mentioned, he said the Annies are important. The Annies for animation have a lot of meaning to people. Again,
Sure.
because you're dealing with, I guess to me, part of it is real life.
Yeah,
When you have
the Ace Awards
when
from
you have
from the cinema editors.
yeah,
You know.
these are people that you work with.
Yeah.
The idea that they want to honor you is very special. So that's why I say it's not all, but something like the Golden Globes, which will happen tonight. We'll see. We'll see. It'll be fine. I'm jealous. My friend Josh is going to watch it with friends tonight, and I will just be texting him as we together. I'm going because I will not sit through the commercials. But we'll see. I don't love Chelsea Handler boosting. I'm sure she'll be fine. Yes, exactly. Josh is saying the Globes for drunk actions. So I tell this story every year, but it's because it's one of my favorites. So at LAFCA last year, I should say the other thing that we have talked about is that this time of year is very strange because suddenly you see all of these celebrities who you don't normally see.
Repeatedly.
Suddenly you're in a room with these people over and over and over again for maybe, let's say, 3-4 months. It can start as early as Telluride. Beginning of September, end of August. It can start then. And suddenly people that you've either never met before or you don't often see, you keep seeing them. And they may know your name at a certain point. Gary Oldman knew my name, which I guarantee he does not anymore. But for those couple of months, he knew my name and asked for me, and it was the most surreal thing. But it's because we kept seeing each other. So it's the whole thing. It's not real.
But some awards have more credibility,
yes,
let's say, than others in the real world.
No, and now when I'm saying not real, I mean being around these famous people is not real.
Oh, yeah,
It is
yeah,
surreal.
yeah.
The whole thing is weird.
Yeah.
So this is a couple of years ago now. Amy Adams. We kept seeing Amy Adams. She's so nice, so genuinely nice. Knows so talented. We see her at the LAFCA dinner, and I'm there. And I went over and I said, "You look beautiful." And she said, "Oh, thanks so much." But she kept going like this to her eye. I said, "Are you okay?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "It's just hard to wear this much makeup so many days in a row because now again there's all these events that they have to go to." And I preface this always by saying she wasn't complaining. She wasn't going, "Oh, woe is me, this is so hard." But we were just talking a little bit. And I said to her, "What's it like going to the Golden Globes?" And she said, "It is one of the hardest of the events. Reason being, you sit in your limo for however long it takes for you to get to the red carpet. Now, that could be an hour, that could be 2 hours, that all of these limos are parked, waiting to drop their person off at the top of the red carpet." And think about this. Now, the men, not as much, but the women are usually in dresses that are not made for sitting or moving. They're made to look great. So she said, you're often either laying flat in the car or like perched in some crazy way so that, you're not wrinkling your beautiful dress.
Yeah. Because the cameras are going to start
the second.
The instant you open the crack of that door.
That door opens and you're on. So she said, so you're usually in that car, let's say an hour and a half, just waiting. You finally get there. You're released to the carpet. Well, depending on who you are and if you're nominated for something, that means you could then spend an hour or more on that red carpet.
Doing press.
Doing all the press stuff. And again, when you're Amy Adams, you are doing all of it. When you see those platforms that they have, like Entertainment Tonight will have a platform, E will have a platform, they're going up and down. They're interviewing everybody. So you could be out there for an hour or more. Then you finally get inside. Now, this is an event where they have food. They do serve dinner. But most of the people who are on the red carpet don't get any of that food. So by the time you're at your seat, there's no food. You've been standing for quite a while. You've been sitting in a car, all of that. But what they do have is alcohol. So without fail, everybody gets a little drunk at the Golden Globes, sometimes more than a little drunk. And you will notice this from years of watching. And they're also, this is personal pet peeve only because I wish somebody would fix it. They're always shiny. If you notice when people finally get up there, they haven't had their team to touch them up because the room is so crammed. The room is so packed. They can barely move. Again, they haven't eaten, they're sweating, and now they have to get on stage. And so the whole thing, when broken down, not as the glamour side, is not necessarily fun. It's just kind of nuts. And again, I say she was not complaining. We were just talking.
For the viewers at home, of course, it's a bonanza.
Yeah.
Because they cover both TV and movies. Yep. And so they, everybody of note is there.
Doug is saying, after 2 hours in a car, is there a star-studded lavatory? But that's what I mean. Like, it's this kind of stuff where it's the reality of a situation, versus what something looks like. And it's true to say they finally sit down. There's no food left. They're drinking, and then they're in this very, very crowded room. So it's always it's just a bit mad. It's just a bit of madness, isn't it? So that's one of those things. Whenever people ask, do you like to go to the awards? Do you like to go to this? Do you like to go? I love working backstage. That's what I love. I love going for the prep. I love going backstage. I love being in the back. I have no desire to sit in for any of these because that part's not fun. The fun bit is if you can be a fly on the wall. That's the part that's nuts and fun.
That includes the Santa Barbara International Film Festival,
yes.
Where on Friday this year, Friday February 9th, I'm going to present the annual Maltin Modern Master Award.
Yep.
To Robert Downey Jr.
How perfect that Claire has just, a friend of ours, Claire from beautiful United Kingdom, has just joined us. She was there last year when it was Jamie Lee Curtis. She received the Maltin Modern Master, and that was a blast because she's so much fun, and we just had the best time. So that'll happen in February, which is always really, really neat.
Because it's an evening-long tribute.
Yeah.
We don't just hand him an award.
We sit on stage.
We sit on stage and review his career. They show clips.
So it'll be you and Robert Downey Jr. on stage for, an hour and a half, 2 hours, going through all these clips, having conversation. He's a wonderful conversationalist anyway. Yeah. Hi, Mud. And it's just a good time.
Yeah.
And it's very relaxed at Santa Barbara. Yes, Jamie Lee was also on the podcast. Yes, we had her on. She was a gem. But so Thursday night, you have your first class of the summer.
Yes. And I can't.
Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
You have the AFI luncheon.
Which also covers movies and television. And each winning film, I've been on the jury, I think as long as the AFI has been doing this, voting for the 10, they don't call them best, the 10 outstanding or significant
I think they say
films,
outstanding
films of the year, the 10 outstanding television programs of the year. So that's another stargazing hoopla. And again, no broadcast.
Yeah.
So they can
do your press outside,
or choose not to.
But no, what I'm saying, you have your press if you wish, photos if you wish, and then you go in and you just get to sit. And again, no one's winning anything. Like there's no losers.
Breathing rarefied air.
Yeah, nobody's losing. Everybody's there because they've won. And again, you have TV. Now there is so much TV and film crossover that it's not as rare. But for a very long time, you didn't usually see the two sets of actors in the same room. So whenever we got to go to an event where there were a lot of TV actors, it was neat because otherwise we don't often see them. And it's the other way around as well for folks who usually cover TV. It's really cool to suddenly be in a room with folks who just do, a feature-length film. So the whole thing. So you and Mommy go every year. And every year my dad sends me photos of my mother cuddled up with various celebrities. My dad is useless because he doesn't do detail. So when I'm just like, how tall was so and so? What did they look like in person? He's like, they looked alive. They were a height. My mother, on the other hand, they smelled like this. They looked like this. The suit was like this. The dress was like this. And it's like, oh, I just eat it up. I love it. I absolutely love it. So I don't know who the two. I'll pull them up. We'll see who's there. But that's your Friday. And then in the afternoon, TCM is having an event
At the same location.
at the same location.
Celebrate its 30th anniversary. And the fact that it's still on the air is a
miracle,
given the upheavals at Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yeah.
And
they are calling them best now. It used to be outstanding,
okay.
but they are calling them best.
Okay.
So let me see.
Each show has a table in the ballroom at Four Seasons Hotel.
Yeah.
In Beverly Hills. And so, you know, there's the Killers of the Flower Moon table.
Yeah.
And there's the Oppenheimer table. And there's the, what are some of the TV shows that are likely to be there?
Well, so to give, okay, so for AFI, Motion Pictures of the Year, you have American Fiction, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, May December, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. For programs of the year, for TV programs of the year, it's Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Beef, Jury Duty, The Last of Us, The Morning Show, Only Murderers in the Building, Poker Face, Reservation Dogs, and Succession. Think about all the people in all of those things and put them in one room.
And that includes not just the actors, but writers, directors, producers. So
like
it's I have done presentations there in years past and looked out at this sea of faces. You know, there's Mr. Spielberg, there's Mr. Scorsese.
Well, I mean, even just so because you've got Only Murders in the Building, that means you get Steve Martin and Martin Short. What more do you really? I mean, they could just come and I'd be happy. If it was just the two of them, we could shut the door. I'd be thrilled. You know, you have now with Abbott Elementary that you get Cheryl Lee Ralph.
Yeah.
Where if you're a Broadway person, she's a goddess. She touched my hair last year at the Critics' Choice Awards. We were walking out at the end, and she played with my hair, and she said, "Oh, I love it." And I was like, "Touch me again, Cheryl Lee Ralph. Touch me again." It was very exciting. With Reservation Dogs probably means Taika will be there. Taika Waititi. With Succession, you have Brian Cox, you have Kieran Culkin, Jeremy Strong. I mean, it just, and then Morning Show means you're getting Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon and possibly John Hamm because here, my mother's boyfriend, John Hamm, she loves herself some John Hamm and he loves her back. I mean, who else? As I said, I mean, it's crazy. You know, and then as I say, and then you got things like Poor Things, which means you get Mark Ruffalo, Willem Dafoe, and Emma Stone. May December, meaning that you get Natalie Portman and Julianne Moore, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's crazy.
And most of these people show up.
Yeah.
First, because it is an honor. And second, because they get to see each other.
Yeah.
Which is true of the Globes as well. But the AFI luncheon, you're sober.
Well, not just that, you can move. There's space to seriously look at the Globes and see how tightly packed those tables are. That's not. So that room is at the Beverly Hilton in Beverly Hills. And it's, Nick, I don't care if it's going to be there. Forgive me. I don't care. This is the thing. You know, you've got a room that's pretty sizable. It's not a small room, but it's not that big. Like all things considered, and for how much happens in that room, for how many award ceremonies happen, it's not a huge room. So people are just squished. And that's sometimes why it takes them so long to get to the stage, because you have to like wiggle your way. It's not graceful. Doug says, do you ever think of being a film critic? You've got a live-in mentor. No, thank you. No, thank you. Uh, I love movies. I love them very, very much, and I love being a part of all of this. But there
Just
are a hell of a lot of film critics at this point, and we've still
quite a
got
few.
him. We still
Quite a
got
few.
him, so you don't need me. Craig is saying, I loved hearing Sam Wasson on the podcast. His new book is a treasure. I love it when you guys have writers on the show. Any chance for James Curtis, Gary Giddens, or Randy Scrivedad? Scradvadvat.
All of those are possibilities.
Yes. That's true. We should have James Curtis on. That is very true.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what we do is sometimes I remind my dad because he doesn't always. Somebody like Sam Wasson, you've been friends with him for a long time. It doesn't always occur to him. And sometimes I go, you realize we should talk to so-and-so, and he'll say, oh yeah, huh.
I don't think about friends in my Rolodex,
You know?
as potential guests sometimes.
And you should,
And
because
I
you've
should.
got some interesting people in there.
Yep.
And you just got to have lunch with Sam yesterday,
Yes.
which was
Yes.
very nice. Sam is so smart and really sweet and cares so deeply about what he does.
And his new book on Francis Ford Coppola,
Yeah.
is excellent. No surprise.
Yeah.
All of his books.
I also think listen to our show because listen to that show especially because the way it talks about how important it is, your ethics, your morality, but also how you put someone at ease.
Yeah.
And how you maintain a good working relationship.
He does something that I've never heard of before. And I know other biographers, and I know, plenty of other biographers in this field. When he transcribes the interview and does whatever editing he wants to do, smooth out. Conversational English is not always readable English. So sometimes you need to do some edits.
Yeah.
He sends it to the person.
Yeah.
And lets them look it over and gives them the power to cut
change it
and change things. Because sometimes you'll say something that maybe you didn't really mean to say.
Or it comes out the wrong way.
Comes out the wrong way, Or you insulted somebody that you think
you didn't mean to.
Yeah. So he gives them that opportunity, which of course only
deepens. It deepens the relationship because it means that they know they're safe.
Yeah.
So I recommend that. Just in life, is to be respectful of other people. Are there channels on YouTube that talk about movies that you like? To be honest with you, we don't really watch that kind of thing. You don't ever really watch movie YouTube channels.
I just don't have time.
Yeah.
No time in my day.
It sounds silly, but it's kind of that is so much a part of our lives. That's not how I relax. So for me, I like watching makeup and nail polish videos, which very deep. I like stuff like that. That's how I relax. My dad just keeps TCM on all day, just all day. And he's a very happy camper.
Now, I don't want to have any time to pass without taking a moment to talk about Glynis Johns.
Yes.
Who died at the age of 100.
Yeah.
And she gave her last interview to George Pinocchio.
Yeah, because George is an angel.
I was lucky enough to meet her, and I won her over.
Someone was just asking about Popeye. It's just a really fun cutout.
There was a wonderful guy named Charles Van Fossen who used to come to these. This is a sidetrack here. Used to come to the Cinevent in Syracuse, New York, and he made. He had a skill saw.
Yeah.
And he made these wonderful collages and things. And that was, I just had to have that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So Glynis, George Pinocchio in general is the patron saint.
Is, for those who don't live here in LA.
Oh, yes.
He's the longtime entertainment reporter for the ABC station here, KABC. And he's one of the last of the breed here in Southern California. Along with Sam Rubin at KTLA and Tribune Television. And George cares. He really cares. And he loves old Hollywood as well as contemporary Hollywood.
He cares and he respects and he goes out of his way. So he's the first one who talked about Glynis Johns, but he would also go visit her.
Mm-hmm.
And he kept her name in the press in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have the greatest respect for
Anyway,
him. But Glynis was obviously very special.
I got to meet her, and I have a Christmas card from her with a long message, handwritten message on it. I'm happy by getting her, this is a long time ago, VHS cassettes of films in which her father appeared. Her father, Mervyn Johns, a wonderful character actor who plays Bob Cratchit in the 1951 British film of Christmas Carol, which was really a Scrooge. But we all know it here in the States as a Christmas Carol. But I got her, cassettes because they were available then, and she was very grateful for that. And I was happy to do that for an actress I always admired.
Yeah.
And
she was a lovely person, kind to people, always. It's nice that it's nice that she's a part of a movie that lives on so beautifully.
Mary Poppins. And she's also, of course, in the original cast, recording of Stephen Sondheim's Little Night Music. And he was quoted as saying he wrote Send in the Clowns for her because he knew that she didn't have a trained singing voice and couldn't sustain a note very long. So he wrote short phrases. Isn't it rich?
Yeah.
Are we a pair?
Yeah.
I mean, and she was able to deliver that perfectly. And unmistakable voice of hers. So God bless you, Glynis Johns. And
I have to add, not about Glynis, but Stephen Sondheim, who's had to write for people before.
Yeah.
Do you remember the whole Madonna thing for Sooner or Later?
No.
Madonna in Dick Tracy sings a song Sooner or Later, and he basically had to write the simplest life so she would be able to sing it. And it cracks me up. It just cracks me up because he had to find a way to make her sound good. Anyway, yes, she's in The Court Jester. Glynis Johns is in The Court Jester, which is one of the greatest movies ever. I love Danny Kaye so much. And I'm excited for Daisy to be old enough to start to watch some of that and laugh like we do. I play her some of his music now. She gets to hear some of the music like Thumbelina or Inchworm, which is such a beautiful song. But
I grew up with a 10-inch album. Everything I say makes me sound as old as Methuselah.
It's okay.
A 10-inch album of the songs from Hans Christian Andersen, the movie that Danny Kaye starred in 1952, with songs by the great Frank Lesser, who wrote music and lyrics. And so I grew up listening to those songs, Thumbelina and Inchworm and Wonderful, Wonderful Copenhagen, and
so good.
And the King's New Clothes.
Yes, great. Shannon's, sorry, go on.
He also made an album which I don't know that I still have, called "Mommy, Give Me a Drink of Water," which is all songs from a child's
little kid songs.
Yeah,
and you played that for me a lot.
Yeah.
Shannon is saying, without naming names, have there ever been celebs who've been dismissive of Jessie during these events? Let me tell you, Shannon. No, in general, people are nice. In general. I've had a handful of not very nice experiences.
Larry's reminding that I said Cinevent. I should have said Cinefest.
Yes.
Cinefest in Syracuse, New York. Cinevent was a parallel event in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah. As I say, people in general are nice. There are a handful that are not nice. And it's really unfortunate. Hi, CJ. It's really unfortunate when people are not nice. But some people also come with that as part of who they are. Like, walking in that, they're not going to be very nice. Spike Lee, in general, not very nice. But if he likes you and he likes this guy, then he's nice to you. If it's me, he's not very nice to you, but he likes you a whole heap. So that's great. It is also funny to meet people through their careers. There are a lot of people that you've interviewed
Well, Spike,
when they were 20, when they're 30, when they're 50, you know?
I met Spike pretty early on in his career and interviewed him on more than one occasion. And for a long, long time, he had this, he wanted to affect a public persona of like Buster Keaton, a stone-faced persona. Watching him one night with Jay Leno was torture because Jay was being Jay and trying to kind of lighten things up, and Spike was not having it. But I interviewed him for the movie Summer of Sam, which was a very serious movie, but a kind of a departure for Spike at that time. And we had a 2-camera setup for Entertainment Tonight. And I said, both cameras running? And my director said, yes. I said, Spike, I'm wrong, but this would be the first of your films to have an ABBA song on the soundtrack. And he broke into a smile and he said, two ABBA songs. It was a triumph. But he's loosened up.
Has he?
Well, he has.
Has he loosened up?
In my experience, yes. In my experience, yes.
He's one where you're not allowed to make eye contact in working. I say this because people talk about it all the time. It's something that when we were interviewing Sam the other day, something that we brought up is that, if you want to continue to work in our industry, you can't be one of the people that walks around talking ish, because it doesn't, and you remember it, and people obviously then don't necessarily feel safe around you. But I think that if you are somebody who is known for these things, then that's kind of on you. So when Spike is at events, and if you're working, you are told very clearly that you are not allowed to make eye contact with him. You're not supposed to speak to him. So the very first time I worked an event that he was at, which was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony, he was going to be there. He's very short. He's very small and he's short. And we were coming like this. I didn't know, obviously. We're coming and there's a corner and we turn and we face each other. And I just face with Spike Lee. All of a sudden, I just went, "Hi!" 'Cause I don't know. And he just was absolutely terrified and basically scurried away. And I was like, "Whoops! I made eye contact. Sorry." So yeah, I don't appreciate those things. But again, he's nice to you. As long as he's nice to you, it's fine. No, yeah, it is, as I say, it's really interesting. The people that you've interviewed through the years always fascinates me, how some people have stayed the same and some people change drastically. And there's reasons for all of it. In some cases, you're incredibly famous and you now don't, you're nervous giving interviews because people are going to pick them apart. Or in some cases, you relax because when you were younger, you were less confident, and now you're confident because it's fine and whatever happens, happens. I do think about, you have that picture with Leonardo DiCaprio, where he looks like he's 12. Realistically, he must have been 20 something, just looked like a baby. And then you've interviewed him again and again, and he has always been nice, always been respectful.
Yep.
And friendly. And, it's a nice thing to see this person who has succeeded the way that he has succeeded, stay that way. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that he's always been that way. Now, again, when you're dealing with my dad, how can you be mean to him? Really? There's a small handful, but really, how can you be mean to him? But that's, as I say, just something that I've always appreciated, that he's stayed nice. Johnny Depp has always been nice. He's always been nice. And you interviewed him again for the first time, a very long time ago now. And every time, very nice. Hi, Leonard and Jesse from Australia. Hello. If Disney ever gave you a chance to redo the Disney treasures for Blu-ray, I'm sure there's more to it. Would you redo them? Do you mean like would you want to transfer them to a different system, or would you want to do new ones? Do you mean like that? Would you do new ones?
If asked, I will serve.
Yeah. Yes. I think so. You love him. What about Nick Cassavetes? CJ's asking. I don't think I've ever met him. Have you?
No,
No.
no, I have not.
There are some folks who don't come out all that much, sort of not around as often. Have you? Yes. Have you interviewed Glenn Close? She won the Maltin Modern Master several years ago. Sorry, guys.
And I got to spend quality time with her on stage in Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
And having met her before, which is always helpful, and we had a very good evening. She's a nice woman, and of course a tremendously talented person.
First time we met her was in Telluride.
Mm-hmm.
For I think, well, no, probably not your first. My first was when just
yes,
first time that I ever met her.
Yeah.
And that's such a, I mean, it's a very hard movie, but it's an incredible movie.
Yeah, I'm very fond of that movie.
And she's incredible in it. And you've got Janet McTeer, who's also, the best. I think that she's someone there. I mean, she's confident now. She's in a place now where it's sort of like, I do what I want. I've done this a long time. So she's more relaxed. I have been younger. It's, I mean, kind of like Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep at this point is one of the most relaxed human beings on the face of the planet because she's just living her best life. She works where and how she wants to work.
Exactly.
She's incredible.
Exactly. She was wonderful in Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
This past season.
She's
quite wonderful.
She has a beautiful face that she loves. Mm-hmm. It's pretty great to be Meryl Streep,
Arthur's asking if I've got anything to say about the new TCM series, The Power of Film. I watched some of the first episode and was very taken with it, and with Howard Suber, who I've heard about for years and years and years, a local legend. Anybody who went to School of Theater, Film, and Television and took his classes came away a believer. I'm very happy that he's been sort of captured on video and giving essentially an illustrated lecture, series of illustrated lectures.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I didn't silence the alarm. It's going to go off.
Okay.
In like 2 minutes.
Okay. I'll be ready. I'll be ready to turn it off. So JJ's saying that he just watched Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget.
Yeah.
And is asking, what's your favorite Aardman film?
Right at the beginning, Creature Comforts. I love Creature Comforts.
That's great.
Because it's if you haven't seen it, it predates, I think, a Grande's outing.
I don't remember any
with Wallace and Gromit.
Timing.
Well, Nick Park made this film based on interviews, candid interviews with people about their living conditions.
Yeah.
There's this one with a fairly heavy Spanish accent who talks about the windows and double glazing of the windows for heat and comfort. It's seriously funny. And it's the first time we all got to see their character design template.
Yeah.
And they're funny looking. I mean, I'm smiling the minute.
Yeah.
When we watched Dawn of the Nugget, Chicken Run.
And the name makes you laugh
too. We were laughing before they did anything.
Yeah.
It's just fun to be in that company of those characters.
The first expensive gift I ever bought my dad, I'd saved up and I wanted to get him something special for his birthday. I got him this Wallace and Gromit
train.
Not a working train, but a train. And I loved it. And I was just so excited to give that to him as it's like the first nice gift. and I love it. I don't know where it is.
I do.
Yeah, well, good. At least one of us does. I just love it. Let's see the remote. There it is.
Good.
We're all okay. I was ready for it.
Yeah, good.
The Wrong Trousers, my favorite Aardman film, says Kevin. Yes, I mean,
What's not to love?
yeah. What expensive? What's so expensive? The train. That what I bought him was it was an expensive gift. It was my first. I think I was probably like 20, and
Nicely crafted toy train.
it's beautiful.
And Wallace and Gromit are both on the train.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it was expensive, and I was really proud to be able to give it to him. Someone over here just asked what your favorite foreign film is of all time.
Oh, don't do that to me.
He's a Francophile, so he loves watching French cinema.
Yeah, but is it? It's going to be one of the real classics. It's either going to be Rules of the Game by Jean Renoir or Seven Samurai by Akira Kurosawa, or La Strada by Federico Fellini. Nothing offbeat, nothing out of the ordinary.
No,
they're all great. They're all foundational films.
Yeah.
Every film buff who wants to call himself a film buff should movies.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you know, there's a reason that certain films are on certain lists, you know. There's it's sort of like, you know, when someone says to you, what are the greatest films of all time in general? What are the greatest films of all time? And you sort of to list the ones and you go, well, that's what everybody says. And it's like, yeah, because there's a list of the ones that everybody should see. You know, there's
Do you collect pieces of movie memorabilia? Is the question.
Does he collect pieces of movie memorabilia? John, you must be new around here. Let me tell you.
Well, in our collector's corner,
yes,
we showed playing cards
yes.
Several weeks ago.
Yes.
But I just opened a box, a crate that came with us when we moved house 9 years ago, 9.5 years ago.
Something like that.
And it hasn't been opened since then. And so I'm rediscovering stuff. Parasite's a great movie. Let me get this straight here.
I like this box, though. So the box says compliments of RKO Radio Pictures.
The Showmanship
Company. This is the lid here.
And
second.
there are 2 decks of cards inside.
I got it.
So,
Matt, honey, you can love whatever movie you wish. The Fountain. That is a popular one to mention. Do you have anything Dean Martin related? You do. Your money clip.
I have a Martin and Lewis money clip.
He has a money clip that he loves.
That was a crew gift.
That has been lost many times and found again.
Yeah, mislaid.
Yeah, that has happened before. Hang on, let me show you just a close up of these cards because they're nice. I'm trying to think what else you have that's Dean Martin.
Well, I have some other. I have Martin Lewis cards. I think we showed
That's
those.
right. You do indeed have those. Yes.
These little cards, nothing that couldn't be made more appealing by adding a movie star to it, right? So something that has disappeared from our landscape here is the weighing machine, the public scale. That was a fixture in every soda fountain, drugstore, general store. You'd stand on the scale, and usually a big, not digital. What's it's not digital. No. Mechanical.
Sure.
Mechanical.
Yeah.
Scale would actually show you your weight for a penny, and dispense one of these little cards of a movie star.
This one says George Montgomery, photograph courtesy of Photoplay magazine. And on the back it says, your life will be rich and full due to your inherent honesty and integrity. Here's Tina Daddy George.
Well, I'll be.
Chris is asking if anybody has ever asked to do a documentary about your life and career. Yes, it has come up before. And I think that someone should do it because my dad has had a really fascinating life. And I think that people should learn his story. I didn't see Beau Was Afraid. Did you see Beau Was Afraid?
No.
No, missed that guy. It's on TV now, though. Somebody's asking here, what's your favorite Chaplin film? They're saying mine is The Great Dictator.
Well, it's a great film, of course, but I have a sentimental attachment to Modern Times because it was the first Chaplin film I saw in a theater.
Yeah.
When it was reissued in 1959. And I was 8 or 9 years old when I saw that. So anyway, cards. Collector cards.
There's a bag.
Now, this is a 1950s series of weight machine cards.
Vending machines. Now, this is vending machine cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got your weight and then they gave you a little that?
Yeah.
Sure. Shannon, I love when you ask Bravo questions because I never get to talk to anybody about them. You and I should just sit and watch these shows together. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City finale was insane. It was absolutely, I can't believe it. I was screaming. My husband was in the, he had no idea what was going on. And I was like, this is crazy. And for those of you who don't watch that awful show, you have no idea what I'm talking about, but it was nuts.
Now, collector cards of all kinds.
John just asked an interesting question about these. He says, do you think that there is like is there a holy grail of collector's items for film? And I think it just depends on the person. It depends on what you want. Some people like, what's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio and Peter Jackson collect, they're two of many, but they collect movie posters, beautiful posters. And these are the kind of posters that go for a lot of money, that are rare, in perfect condition. So for them, it could be the greatest, rarest poster ever. That could be their thing. I really want to own this. I think, as I say, for everybody, for my dad, he was able to get something, this beautiful portrait that used to live on the wall at the Lambs Club in New York City of John Barrymore. And the fact that it was put up for auction in general sort of blew your mind. But then the idea that something that he had grown up seeing there could be his, we just said, you have to get it. And he did, and it's in his office, and he loves it and treasures it. So I don't know. I think that may be one of your greatest, but you never even knew it was an option, No. You never even knew you could have owned it.
Never dreamt of it. Now, this is a series of cards that came with gum, which Hamilton chewing gum in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And there's a longtime favorite, Charlie Chase.
Yeah, there you go. Adam Savage from Mythbusters is big into making props or getting props from films. Yes. We got to meet him a few years ago at Comic-Con.
B.B. Daniels.
So tilt it so you can see without the
reflection. That dates this series to the early 30s by deductive reasoning. Here is a card that doesn't indicate whether this came with gum or not, but here's a card with Harry Carey Jr., known to one and all as Dobie, because when he was a baby, they said his skin looked like
very red.
Adobe. Wonderful, wonderful man. I was lucky enough to get to know. Interview. He's on one of the Disney Treasures because he's in Spin and Marty.
Yep.
And
as a kid, whenever I would see him, I'd always say to my mom, "Is his name really Dobie?" I just thought, why would you name your kid Dobie? Yes, Nick. Again, people are mentioning sort of what their holy grail would be. An original animation drawing. A comic store in Columbus Mall has a drawing from Mickey's elephant for 400 to 600. Hey, 400 to 600 for a cell is not. We've seen them go. Some of them get nuts. I'm using the word nuts a lot today. Forgive me. Kevin says, my holy grail is SZ biography. The
Took me many
story of
years.
Cuddles. It's extremely expensive online if you can even find it.
I searched for many a year to find a copy of it, and it was thanks to the internet. I think my copy came from Australia, actually, because Luke had it. My friend Luke Sater, we both collect biographies and autobiographies.
Yeah.
And we have kind of a friendly, and he had that. And damned, I had it got, well, anyway.
You got it. You got it.
This is a series of, I think these were gum cards done in the early 50s by NBC, the National Broadcasting Company. And this is Verna Felton at a time when she was playing Dennis Day's mother on the Dennis Day show. And if you say, who's Verna Felton? Well, she's the voice in Disney films. But she's the fairy godmother who sings Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo in Cinderella.
Great
That's
voice.
Enough of a
great speaking voice,
right,
great voice.
Right. That's enough of a credential for anybody.
Right. Ben is asking, speaking of which, did you want to do Walt Disney Treasures sets for seasons 2 and 3 of Spin and Marty? I wish they released them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Oh, Ken, to go back a turn, we also, whenever there's cheese involved, say, look, Gromit, cheese. Same. Jonathan says, my holy grail was Tiny Toons Night Ghoulery on VHS. I loved Tiny Toons growing up. I still think it's wonderful. One of my favorites.
This came with a cigarette pack in Germany. And it's
we should all start smoking.
Lona Andre and Richard Arlen in I think College Rhythm, but I may be wrong about that.
Well, it's in German, so I can't tell you. Yeah. It's in German, so I can't help. Let me see if we've got any.
Here's something you don't see every day. A collector card of Frank Duval with a facsimile signature on it. Frank Duval was a musician and composer who had a second life as an actor, as a character actor. And what his credits are innumerable. Is that a word?
Yep. Unnumberable.
He wrote the theme song for My Three Sons. That's the first thing that pops in my head.
There you go.
And he's very funny. On the great TV series Fernwood Tonight, later known as America Tonight, with Martin Mull and Fred Willard. He was Happy Kine, the band leader.
Yep.
And and he also did the scores for, I think, every Robert Aldrich movie.
Arthur is asking if you ever met Robert Duvall. Just turned 93, and he's asking if you ever met him. And you got to interview him on stage at South by Southwest a few years ago, and we had a very funny interaction where all he wanted to do was talk to us about barbecue. Many Texans are this way, but this man, I was like, hey, Robert Duvall, let's talk about Robert Duvall things. He was like, no, brisket. It did not matter what else we tried to steer it to. The man just kept going back to brisket, and he was literally giving us directions.
Yeah, to his favorite.
He was giving us directions for the freeway on how to get to his favorite place. And it was just like, Robert Duvall, you're Robert Duvall. I would have a bit more of a Robert Duvall conversation. He was just not having it. Though he did say to us, because this is known about him. He loves the tango.
Yeah.
He is a dancer and he loves tango.
And he married a woman from
yeah,
Argentina.
And he that was the other thing he talked about is he said you don't start dancing tango. You spend 10 years just learning how to walk. And I just was going, uh-huh. So yeah, if you would like to ask Robert Duvall about tango or barbecue, you'll probably have a great conversation. You're going to show them these.
Yeah. Here are a whole bunch of Thelma Todd collector cards. These are mostly, these are from England. These small ones. And over the years, people have put these together as framed pieces. So slightly risque as she appeared in the film Speak Easily with Buster Keaton and Jimmy Durante. Famous Film Stars is the name of that series. And if you really are desperate, you might even find, I'm on another card as well. This is the Topps gum card series for Gremlins 2, The New Batch, in which I make a cameo appearance. And it got me on 2 cards of the story of the film and a 3rd card where I'm named on the back. It's this, after being attacked.
You finally made it.
I told Joe Dante, this is my ticket to immortality.
That's right. That's all you really need. Do you have a favorite film noir?
Again, I like so many.
Here's another one. Did you ever meet or interview Gene Hackman?
Yes. And I was present when he received an award from the LA Film Critics when we used to have a luncheon instead of a dinner. And he said something I've never forgotten. He said, you know, they don't teach you how to deal with this in acting school. Making a thank you speech for getting an award.
Yeah.
He genuinely was uncomfortable. And it was so interesting because he's such a consummate actor. And he's in one of your all-time favorite films, of course.
Well,
The Birdcage. And
he's not just in the bird, he's perfect in The Birdcage.
Oh, yes.
I love The Birdcage in general. I can recite every single word of it because it's one of the greatest movies ever made. But he's just so damn good. He's just so damn good in it. And it's so funny.
He also fits the theory that my wife and I have.
Yeah.
That successful people room together when they're young and starting out.
Yeah.
Because he and Dustin Hoffman. And who's the third member? He and Hoffman. I don't remember.
Anyway. Someone else fancy. No, it's so good. It is a shame. It is a shame. Like someone like him, he hates the Hollywood side of acting.
Yeah.
That's the part he wants no part of. And that's why he doesn't work very much.
No, he's retired.
Yes. I refuse to say that because in my heart, I just hope that one day something will drag him out.
Alexander Payne really, really wanted him to star in Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
And he got his address. He lives in Florida, I think, or Georgia. He lives that part of the country. And he's been writing novels. He's been writing fiction. And Alexander said, do you really want your last film credit to be Welcome?
Oh, Alexander.
No go.
No go, unfortunately.
He says he's retired.
Which is sad.
It's our loss.
It is our loss. But that's, again, he didn't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
As I say, I will never say retired because in my heart, one day we're going to get him out. I just have to believe that. You know what I mean? I have to believe that. Man, oh man. I'm sorry that I'm gonna give up on using Restream, as I say, and just try to use the actual platforms. Hi, Daisy, and just try to use the platforms themselves and see if that helps. Hi, hi. Did you have a nice walk? Trouble is back. Did you have a nice walk, honey? Yeah. Hi. She's been sick, so she's. Hi, monkey. Hi. Hi. You say hi. Is that you? Is that the prettiest girl in the whole wide world? Is that you? Yeah. Yeah. We got dogs. We got babies. Okay. Can you say bye-bye to everyone? Okay. We will not be on next Sunday because we will be at the Critics' Choice Awards. So that is our Sunday, but I think we'll be back for the following one. So we'll miss you for a week.
And we'll do a post-mortem then.
Yes, but everybody, please take care of yourselves. That's good. That looks delicious. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you soon.
Be kind. Bye-bye.
Bye. You say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hi. Hi. Hi, guys.